Alright, hello all you crazy people out there, my name is Dragonite, and welcome back to Harvest December. So, this is where I introduce what's been going on in this story so far, but I can't remember what's been going on in the story so far because I put the game down for a day and came back to it, and I've already forgotten. Anyway, I was sitting by the altar. The room was filled with the smell of incense. Ringing the bell once, I put the mallet down and placed my hands together in prayer. God. I just took a drink, too. I closed my eyelid, shutting myself in darkness. I didn't remember Sohei Marino, the person I was paying my respects to. We had barely entered primary school when he died in an accident. The only memory I had of him was his back while he cooked by the stove holding a pair of chopsticks. But what about Sine? How much did she remember of her father? Enough to make her decide she wanted to carry on his legacy in future. What about my future? Did I have doubts in my choice? We're gonna pretend that I read that properly, because I don't know. I remembered her reflection in the glass, her hands tightly clutching that yellow umbrella. How long are you going to stay that way? Ow! My thoughts were interrupted abruptly by a whack on the back of the head. When I looked up, Yumi-san was laughing at me. It's nice that you came to pay your respects, but you don't even remember my husband that well. Does Sine remember? I don't know, but the way she holds the chopping knife reminds me of him entirely. I'm sure she remembers then. What are you thinking about? I found it difficult expressing my thoughts in words, so I just stared at her, lost. Why don't you make yourself more comfortable? Yumi-san said as she sat down beside me. I was reflecting. It was reflecting. That's two. It was refreshing to see her so relaxed on her day off since she was usually so busy running her shop. I hadn't realized it, but I had sat with my legs folded beneath me for such a long time that they had gone numb. It took some time to shift into a more comfortable position. You made my daughter come home crying. I knew you'd bring that up. What did you do? Did you do something she didn't like? Nah, that's hard to imagine. We just talked about what we do after high school. So it's true you're going to Tokyo. She must have chatted with Mom. It wasn't a question, but a confirmation. Oh, you've really done it this time. She would have found out sooner or later. Do you know how much that crushed her? We talked while we watched the smoke rise from the joss sticks, from the smoke rise from the... Something about smoke. You know about her dreams. Then you talk to her about different options. There was no need to. Yumi-san was quick to reply. We aren't rich, but I have enough savings to put her through school. If she wants to, she could try for scholarships. I've also talked to her several times before that she didn't need to tie herself to the shop since she was still so young. But she refused to listen. Do you know why? Why? It's her dream to run this place with you. And you didn't give her a chance. You're a bit young to be making that decision about, like, your entire life, right? I don't know, maybe it's just me. That's the first time I've heard of it. Come on, you knew that without my having to tell you. And what about my opinion? I was beginning to sound like somebody I knew. What is it that you're unhappy about, Sine? Unhappy? She can be a slowpoke, but she isn't stupid. She's caring and she's also pretty cute in my standards. I'm not unhappy with her. Then why did you betray her? I didn't betray anybody. Your dreams are her dreams. I don't have to live by them. But as a result, you did betray her. You knew how she felt. I sighed. I knew this day would come. It was only so long that I could pretend everything was alright. And all because of that damn chocolate on Valentine's Day. Even someone as dense as I would notice what that meant. Sine loved me. The knowledge changed everything. Every movement she made caught my eye from then on, and she made me aware of her interest. Once I noticed, everything else was so obvious. And yet, here I was, pretending I still didn't have a clue. I didn't have to change things. I didn't want to change things. I wanted to sustain my current relationship I had with my friends. So I listened to Masaki's problems, nodded in agreement when it was needed, and played like the dork as usual. But I couldn't put on an act in front of Sine. She was too close. She was so transparent with her feelings that it unnerved me. What was Sine to me? Why did I find it so hard to accept her wish? Why was I rebelling against her? Why? Don't think too complicatedly when you don't have the smarts for it. Don't think too complicatedly when you don't have the smarts for it. I know, I said grudgingly as I rubbed the back of my head that I got whacked on earlier. You can't decide. I can't decide. Then I'll make you decide. Yumi-san stuck her hand out into her shirt pocket. Here. A noshi bu what? An envelope used in formalities such as weddings or funerals. Okay. In a fortnight, a relative of mine will get married in Tagami. What does that have to do with me and Sine? I took the envelope from her hands and waved it around, confused. Is this the thing about the holding the umbrellas? Because they'll need a couple for the right of the blessed share, of course. You're asking me? At first I thought there was no question about it. I'd just pick you and Sine. But I've decided otherwise since you seem so unsure. Yumi-san, wait. It doesn't have to be me. You can pick somebody else to do it. Just ask somebody else to be your partner, okay? Ow. It's allergy season and my nose is itchy. Ugh. Just ask somebody else to be your partner, okay? The envelope in my hand suddenly felt heavy. I haven't a clue who you'll choose, but if you choose some other girl other than her, Sine will come to terms with it and give up hoping. Besides? You know you can't refuse once you've been asked. It's Tagami custom. In our town where a god still resided, many old customs still lived strong. It was taboo to break the rules because it branded you as an enemy to all beliefs bound to the land. Especially since Shiro was so active. Her presence was a binding power of its own. If I refused to participate in this blessed share when I was asked to, it meant I rejected the good blessings that came with it. A blessing would become a curse. A blessed couple would have no misfortune, but a cursed one would have every misfortune cast upon them mercilessly. If people believed in it, of course they would choose to be blessed. We'll need time for preparation too, so you'll have to make up your minds this week. You can't make me do this, that's selfish. It kind of is. And Sine's hurt because you're being selfish. I have to choose. I stared at the stark white envelope in my hand. I couldn't tear it apart because I couldn't accept it readily either. Why don't you leave before Sine wakes up? She cried herself to sleep, you know. Yumi-san wasn't taking no for an answer. I've attempted. Okay. That was short. I'm gonna do another one. Oh, hey, Yuki. Why do you always get so tempted so easily by every girl that serves herself on a platter? Is it their obedience that attracts you? Is it because they're submissive? That must be it. Yuki-sama, I'm sure it was just a mistake and it meant nothing. Please don't punish me. I haven't done anything wrong. Says you who happily read that love note stuck to your locker with an expression like a cat that got the cream. With one swipe of her naginata, Yuki sent Masaki flying across the room along with several desks. The classmates were so used to this by now, they all naturally stepped aside to avoid collateral damage and in seconds had resumed conversation. Doesn't the teacher have anything to say about this? I'll take your silence as a no. Well, I'd better get going. I stood up from my seat. I was sleepy because I'd stayed up all night to memorize a chronological table for history. Kohai. Sine called out to me questioningly, but I pretended I didn't notice her concern. You know what, my friend? I've learned I'm just as bad as you, I told Masaki as I squatted down beside him. He was splayed out on the floor. So what are you going to do, Kohai? I'm going to decide who I'll choose now. Really? He promptly fainted. I'm going to have lunch with some juniors, I said with a wave, then I left the classroom. Sakura Tagami was in my old classroom. As I walked down the corridor, I noticed the juniors hushed their voices a little. It wasn't every day that a senior visited. Toyama-senpai! She was easy to spot. A small head shot up among a group of friends to grab my attention. Are you here to ask for another session with Grandpa? Sakura said as she crossed her middle finger above her pointing finger. It was a gesture used to describe playing shogi, also known as Japanese chess. I was sure to beat him once, at least before I graduate high school, but today I actually came to see you. Me? Why? Have you eaten? Well, yeah, since it's lunch break. Too bad. I thought maybe we could have lunch together. Woohoo! The classroom suddenly erupted in cheers. Oh my god, it's happening! It's finally happening! Secret mission seductive Sakura is finally showing some success! Too many S's in that sentence, I swear. And I'm not helping. The cheering grew louder. Sakura raised both her hands to calm everybody down, smiling broadly. What was that about? You've already eaten lunch, right? No, not at all. I haven't eaten anything. In fact, I wasn't planning on eating at all. Let's go! I stuck my head into the classroom to look around. All of Sakura's friends gave me the thumbs up, looking like they had no problem with me coming in. Of her coming with me. Close enough. Okay, let's go then. I placed a hand on her head. Hey, I did up my hair today, don't mess it up. Sakura complained, but her expression told me she really didn't mind. Couldn't you have thought of a better place? Sakura said as she bit into an egg sandwich. We were sitting on the staircase leading to the roof. It's raining outside. I leaned backwards to look at the door behind us. I could hear the rain gently pit-pattering outside. The landing on the stair closest to the roof was a mess, cluttered with extra desks and old decorations for open day. It wasn't an area people came to hang out in, but just a place they passed by to get to the rooftop during break time. Wasn't there somewhere else that we could go to? Stop complaining. I even brought your lunch. Yeah, a leftover egg sandwich. There wasn't even a chicken croquet sandwich left. You always have the worst timing. I thought this would be a good place to talk. Senpai? I wanted some privacy with you. Why didn't you find a proper room we could lock? Why are you so angry? Oh god, my first time at a place like this. But I can't refuse. This is a serious mission, Sakura Tagami. It's alright, Senpai, I'm ready for anything. I chewed on the leftover sugar rusk I had in my hand. What in the world was she rambling on about now? Okay, do it. She shut her eyes and jutted her lips out. What are you doing? I just asked if you'd like to have lunch with me. That's all I intend to do. But you said you wanted some privacy. We haven't talked one-on-one in ages. What kind of unwitting torture is that? Sakura pouted, inflating her cheeks like a balloon. I poked her cheek and it easily deflated with a pfft from her lips. I was relieved to know that she wasn't really mad at me. So what do you need to talk about? Why now? The reason? Well, since I frequent your house to play chess with Grandpa Tagami, I thought I should spend some time with you too. You're more similar to Konno-senpai than you think. Sakura glanced at me as she drank her strawberry-flavored milk. You don't do anything without a motive. Do you realize that? Don't I? Yeah, you don't. Then I guess my motive is to have a talk with you. With me? Sakura mouthed something, but I couldn't hear what she said. She quietly ate the rest of her sandwich. She was cute, I could honestly say that. Completely the opposite of Mizuho, who was crass, loud, and did things on her own terms. What if I chose her? What if she was my partner? What if I actually liked her? And then I actually asked her out, right here on the spot. But some things just don't feel right. What? She looked at me surprised. I had spoken out loud. I couldn't taste the coffee I was drinking. How did I feel about spending time with her? It was fun. But was it right? I closed my eyes. This is really trying, I mumbled, and I felt my body go lax. Senpai? I heard a voice. Then, silence. When I opened my eyes, my vision was blurry. You must have been tired, somebody whispered in my ear. Did I fall asleep? Just a little. Sakura's voice was so near. I had slouched against her shoulder while I slept. Her hair tickled my cheek. The fragrance of it, combined with her warm softness, made me sleepy again. I had always ruffled her hair without thinking twice, but it felt different against my face. Sorry. I blinked several times to wake myself up and straightened my back, lifting my weight off her. Why don't you take a proper nap? Good idea. I just go to the sick bay and complain about a stomachache or something. They had clean beds there. I tried standing up. Where do you think you're going? Whoa! I fell back down again after getting tugged by the sleeve. Here, Sakura said as she tapped her thighs. Come here. Don't be silly. I can't use you as a pillow. Has Marino-senpai done this for you before? Of course not. Really. I tried standing up again, but she caught me off guard. Hold. She grabbed my head. And set. My left ear was pressed against her thigh. She was invitingly warm. Let's go. No, I won't. I'll get angry. If you don't have enough sleep, you'll go bald. We can't let that happen. Where did you learn that? I'm the first to do this with you. I was in an awkward position, my head squashed down with the rest of my body trying to sit. The edge of the stair cut into my back and hurt too. She pressed me down firmly. I could have gotten up if I wanted to, but... Alright, you win. I shifted my body into a comfortable position. Good, you finally gave in. Sakura looked at me happily. I wished somebody would just walk by so she had to stop. Nobody's going to come here. There's a possibility, you know. No, because the 5th period's already started, she giggled. You liar, now tell me the truth. What's the real reason you asked me out today, she probed. I just wanted to talk, I lied. I'll wake you up later, just close your eyes. Actually, don't. Make up your mind. Well then, don't. This is your punishment for lying to me. She closed her eyes. Sakura! She didn't answer, but instead dropped her lips on mine. Upon, whatever. I've been noticed. Well, that feels like a good place to end this off. So, my name is Dragonite. That was appropriate. That was satisfyingly bizarre. I hope you all enjoyed that, and I will see you all later.